You're gonna be my atomic bomb?
Duh.
If anybody's gonna f this shit up, I feel like it's the two of us.
Oh, I thought you were just stopping at I was like, ah! Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. I'm Josh.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Ashley.
And we're diving into the queerverse on this one.
That's
We just came from cowboys and respect to lesbians and drama.
Oh yeah, everybody wants some drama. This show has definitely got it, man.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about is Netflix's Queer Love, Ultimatum Queer Love.
We were
Now-
very excited for another ultimatum. And this is just a different
It's a different version of it,
Different
right?
flavor.
Right.
Yeah.
Although they did say that season 2 is coming out sometime in the fall, so we'll get another season of Ultimatum.
All right.
So which is good. You know, we love some Ultimatum.
So, Billy, you're a straight guy. How do you feel about this show?
Drama. I give that. You know what? I tell you what I will say about the show, though, man. Of course, we talked about, okay, are we going to review this show or not? Because I know we got Bachelorette coming up soon, so we're going to prep for that one. But I will say, like, watching this show so far, like, I think the women get into deeper conversations with each other than like the other couples did in the other shows, like in other Ultimatum stuff. Like, they're really digging into by like, okay, kids, and and even after they've like done the little speed dating around with everybody else, they're like pulling their partners back aside, talking to them about what's been going on, and like, hey, see, this is what I'm getting from what I'm not getting from you. So I was like, damn, they're getting some pretty deep shit right off the bat. Where
They're communicating.
Yeah, they're communicating. Yeah, most of them are.
They're communicating, and a lot of their issues are about communication, which is kind of.
Well, there may not be any dudes on this show, but the problems are pretty similar.
Oh yeah. You get the same problems on these relationships as you do in any others. Pretty much what it seems like so far.
Yeah.
So what do we think about the people on this show?
You got some characters, man. I tell you what, I mean, of course you got the, you and I talked about this, Josh. I think Netflix and I think all these dating shows secretly pay one person to be an overwhelming asshole.
They might.
Right?
They find them. I'll tell you that.
Because this season you got the one. You have Vanessa. And she
Vanessa's the special one.
Oh yeah, and she does not fail to produce the assholeness in this show, man. It's like, good God.
It's almost like she is getting paid because it's over the top.
She's a try-hard, man.
Oh yeah, dude. She's like, I mean, you can tell she's like here to get famous or something, man. Because she definitely ain't here for the right reasons. We found that out.
Yeah, I just can't imagine anyone would be this bad if they're not trying intentionally. Like the stuff she does, like she knows she's being filmed, and it's not a good look. So
no, not at all.
I don't know where they find these people.
And she has no empathy or anything. I mean, people are like going at it or having like crying and tears, and she's
smiling.
Like,
she's smiling. I was like, what the hell? Like, they're in a serious conversation, She's like the chick from that, what was the last season of Love is Blind we watched, man. The freaking, the two girls that were together that were doing that shit.
Yeah.
And laughing at people's misfortunes. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
She's just all smiling in the background, having a good old time. These poor people are crying their hearts out. I was like, man.
She didn't take it very well, though.
No.
Yeah, so we have Lexi and Ray. What do you think about that couple?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lexi and Ray, I tell you what, they're two of the most beautiful women on the show. And Lexi's got, of course, she gets pointed out very many times. She's, got a lot up top, whereas the rest of the women on the show
got
really
a lot
don't.
going on there.
She's got a lot going on up top, where the other women on the show really don't. So.
But what I like about Lexi, other than that, because obviously she's beautiful.
Oh, she's smart.
Like, she's
smart.
just smoking. Yeah. But her personality, her maturity, her approach to relationships, and her knowing exactly what she wants. Like, I am the most attracted to her.
Well, she is the youngest person on the show. 24 years old.
Well, and then her partner is only 27, right? Ray is. So they're the two youngest. And the rest of them, we talked about, they're in there.
And they both look very feminine, where I think the other couples have someone that is going for the mask look. Yeah. So
like Tiff, who's very. It was funny when Tiff and speed dated with Lexi.
Yeah, I'm 24.
You're 24. Gosh. Oh no. Did you get the ultimatum or someone else?
I gave.
You gave the ultimatum. Okay, so you are ready.
I'm ready.
You were ready to go at 24.
Yeah.
She's like, damn, 24, and you're ready, huh? And she's like, yeah, I'm ready.
I mean, she knows she's a girl that knows what she wants,
no doubt.
and she communicates pretty effectively about every concern she has. She doesn't shy down from it. I don't know. I have mad respect for her.
And we'll get into it later. There's only one time where I thought she was kind of immature with some of the stuff she said. But for the most part, yeah, she's very mature. She knows what she wants. and very well spoken, you know, and she's not afraid to speak her mind either, you know.
Yeah, Ray and Lexi, both very beautiful women, and I guess Lexi has given Ray the ultimatum here. So
and Ray seems uncomfortable. Like she has said she's uncomfortable. She's much more introverted and shy, and she almost seems like she really doesn't want to be there. Yeah,
you definitely don't see a lot of conversation with Ray too much. Like usually it's the other person talking to her. She's not doing a whole lot of talking.
Yeah.
And you're right. She always looks uncomfortable, you know, and especially, you know, later on in the show with some of the stuff that happens in this, you know, in episode 3 or 4.
Yeah. Then we got Xander and Vanessa, both 30 years old, and Xander's pretty,
chill.
Xander's cool, man. I like Xander.
Chill and, you know.
I love Xander.
But she's got to deal with Vanessa.
Oh, man. Dude. You know what? God bless her heart, man, because the shit Vanessa pulls on this show, like, if that's how that chick really is in real life, it's like, how the hell does Xander put up with that, you know? And especially there's times where, like, all the other girls are calling Vanessa out, and Xander's, like, sticking up for her.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
the weird part. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
I don't get that whatsoever.
No.
Well, I get it. I mean, she gave her the ultimatum. She wants to marry her. So, like, I do get it. Like, she has love for her. You know, even though you're going through this experiment, which is kind of weird, you know, you're breaking up and then immediately going into a pretend marriage with somebody, like, the next day, but she wanted to marry her 24 hours ago. You know what I mean?
Right,
so, like, to hear everybody bashing her, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it does have to suck, but at the same time, you know,
I don't know why she's there with her in the first place.
Number one. And number two, like, everything these women are saying is true. It happened, right? So it's like, how do you stick up for somebody who's clearly making an ass out of themselves, and all the stuff these women are saying about her are true? I mean, you flat out happened right in front of everybody, right?
Well, she knows another side of her.
Yeah. Well, this show has got a weird concept to even begin with. Like, you either get married, you break up, or you fall in love with someone else.
Yeah.
Or you leave alone.
Yeah. It's an odd situation to be in for a couples that are together, and it's kind of a weird setup, right? They referred to their other person as their ex, and they were just with them, and they were just making out with them.
Yeah.
The day
goal
before
is to end up with them, hopefully.
Right. And
like, so it's kind of weird.
Well, the thing is, too, I think most of these couples have been together for, on average, probably about 4 or 5 years, right? I think it's kind of what it seemed like for most of them.
Yeah.
You know, except the one couple, which I'm sure you're going to bring up in a minute. AUSSIE and her girl, which only been together for like a year and a half, right? So Sam, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else has been together for quite a while, so it's like, you've been together 5 years. Shit, it's probably time to decide if you're going to get married.
And then they're having these conversations. Well, with my ex, this, and it's like, I mean, you guys slept in the same bed last night.
Right.
I mean,
right. Speaking of which, let's talk about AUSSIE and Sam. Yeah. Now, AUSSIE's the oldest person, 42. And Sam is
a decade younger than her.
Yeah, 31.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, AUSSIE cannot handle conversation. She tries to just like kind of get out of it, like
confrontation,
like that confrontation. Yeah. So no, Sam does handle it well. That's true. But Sam's
like really calm and tries to talk it through.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if she's getting yelled at, she's like.
Oh yeah, she was getting drilled for a minute there, man. I was like, damn, she's putting up with it well.
She's able to stand up for herself without actually yelling or being combative either. So I like that. But that couple is a little odd because Sam gave AUSSIE the ultimatum. But if you see them at the first night when they're meeting, like AUSSIE is all over Sam. Like she is clingy and like this is my person.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, why don't you want to marry her then? Like,
why
are you here?
Now, I mean, again,
she doesn't seem to want to get married. So
no, that's the thing, right? But now again, for her defense, they've been dating for a year and a half, right? So it's like, well, they've been dating for a year and a half.
She's older too, so
yeah. But at the same time, that's we learned that's AUSSIE's. That's her. That's how she does it, right? She'll date a girl for a while, and then it breaks up because she doesn't want to get married, right? And we see that pretty well.
She has a fear of being with someone forever.
And she seems to have an Australian accent, but
she's American. Yeah.
She did mention something about how she was away from home for a long time in one of her conversations. So I think she must have spent time abroad.
Who knows? But then we got Mildred and TIFF. What do we think about that?
I don't get this couple.
Well, they have a lot of drama going on. They fight, they break up, and they get back together immediately.
They're like Joey and Homegirl from freaking Perfect Match, man. And we saw, they're just like those two,
I mean, they thrive on some drama.
Oh yeah, big time. And then especially Mildred. Well, it's funny. Well, I tell you what, man. Probably the first 2 to 3 episodes, Mildred seemed like a sweetheart, man. She was like very soft spoken, just seemed like a very nice, sweet person. But then when all of a sudden she teams up with freaking AUSSIE, man, she just starts going off on her at one point. I was like, damn. I was like, holy cow. You see the other side of her.
And TIFF. She's explosive too, so
yeah. You better show my dog some love, damn it. Like I was like, she was going off about that dog. I was like, damn. I was like, holy cow, this poor girl, she was giving it to her. Yeah.
care about my dog. Like, it's not that hard. I want a heart.
If you don't like my dog, you can get the f out.
At first, I wasn't really turned on by Tiff, but like as she was like, you know, it shows her like kind of interviewing and going from like speed dating. Like I liked her personality and stuff.
Yeah, I liked his personality. I think she definitely goes a little overboard with that dog stuff.
Now she's really into dogs,
time.
but like when she brings up kids, she's like, I am not about that.
Kids, yeah.
So that's like a deal breaker for her.
Yeah, but the good thing for her is that she flat out says it right off the bat. She didn't beat around the bush about it. There's no, maybe we can talk about that later. She's like, no kids. You know,
kind of a red flag for me.
And I feel like, I don't know if that's like has to do with something with the lesbian relationship, or you know how we talked about they're better at communicating, because I feel like in the other ultimatum there were people who were like, yeah, I don't want kids to the camera, but then in the conversations they were having, they were like, well, I don't really see myself with kids, but like they're very wishy-washy about it, but in reality they don't want kids, but they're just so afraid to say it.
Yeah, because when I think it was Ray, when Tiff had her speed date with Ray, and Ray's like, yeah, I don't want kids. And Tiff's like, I don't want kids. Ray's like, yeah, that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want kids. You know.
You, like, what's your take on like having a child?
No, not really my forte.
That's a deal breaker for me.
On to the next one.
So I mean, yeah. So the fact that they're that open right off the bat is like, hey, that's good, man. You learn really quick, you know. So
they are all
well, and you don't have much time, so those are important questions, and I'm glad like they're exploring that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, because I don't know how you move past it. That's a big issue.
As they're all meeting each other, I feel like other than VANESSA, they were all actually legitimately trying to get to know each other and
absolutely,
and versus be very flirty and like sexual in some way, whereas you know the other ultimatum they were like that.
Well, it's kind of interesting because Tiff goes up to Xander, and that's not working at all.
Right.
You know? So they're just, like Tiff is trying, but Xander's just being quiet, not even really answering. So.
Xander didn't open up to really anybody.
Xander is not into masculine chicks. You can obviously tell that, right? Xander wants the pretty girl. She ain't into masculine chicks. So that whole conversation didn't surprise me. She was just sitting there quiet, and Tiff's trying. It was like crickets from Xander's side. I was like, all right, that chick definitely does not like masculine women. So
yeah, and then last we got Yoli and Mal.
Yeah.
I love Mal.
Mal's awesome. I like Mal a lot.
Yoli's cool too.
Yeah,
Yoli is cool. I love who they ended up with in their trial marriages. I love the journey of those 4 people who they ended up with. Everything.
I agree. I think out of the 4 all the trial marriages so far, probably the 2 best are those 2. Right? You know, Yoli's and freaking Mal's trial marriages are both working out really great for them.
Yeah.
Even though VANESSA does everything she can to kind of screw up Mal's, you know.
VANESSA. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. VANESSA has moved forward quicker though in their relationship.
Well, she's moved forward. she's moved forward into the sex, not necessarily into a relationship.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't think they're connecting
emotionally
at all.
VANESSA made it very clear from the get-go that she is not into staying with one person long at all. You know, that she's just not about that. And you know, I mean, it's like, okay, why are you here? And then, of course, Lexi calls her out, and Lexi's like, why the hell are you here? You've made very clear that you're not looking for a relationship.
Well, I'm really surprised that Lexi was attracted to her to begin with, because she's the one who gave the ultimatum, and this girl, like, it seems clear that she's, like, just into screwing around.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know why she was drawn to her initially.
She would just do it with everybody there.
Well, she said that. Remember, she said that. They're all at the bar hanging out and talking, and she's like, well, we could just have a big polyamory orgy right now.
Yeah, I mean...
I was like, man, this chick.
And someone like, I could be into that. Who was that? Aussie, I think said that.
Well, Aussie. Well, then maybe remember later somebody mentioned like having a threesome with her, Lexi, and freaking Mal, and I was like, yeah, I'd be into that.
I'm excited for is my new relationship with Mal, and you being best friends with Mal, and we have threesomes occasionally.
Oh man, but that chick, dude, she just bad news. Evidence, she's bad news, man.
I was really worried about Lexi because she kept like pursuing her, and then like she had like a light bulb moment, and then it just like quick turn
she shut it down.
Yeah, she's like, I don't even want to see you anymore.
Well, you could tell she finally got it through her head that, holy shit, this chick is not here for a relationship.
Yeah.
This chick's just here to get famous, just to be on TV or whatever, you know, because she sure as hell ain't freaking trying to have a relationship at all. So.
Right. Now, I loved how she shut it down. I mean, I almost like had to rewind and be like, what was the trigger word that just like sparked that? Because she was just like...
Thought I was attracted to her. I thought that there was something there. I wanted to explore that and risk it. But like, it's a lie world. VANESSA's a fake person. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm like, she's fake. I don't even want to say her name anymore. She's like Voldemort to me.
Well, she was putting down.
Vanessa was
she was
shocked.
putting down Xander and said like she like has like no hope finding anyone.
Oh yeah, she's like,
what are you doing?
Because I'm pretty.
Yeah.
As she said, I'm pretty. You know, and look at Xander. It's like
that was I think that was the trigger. That's when
yeah.
she's like, really? Like
Right.
that's
well, obviously Xander's pretty enough for you to freaking date yourself, right? So
yeah, it was very odd.
Yeah, no,
but
she-
I'm
Yeah.
glad like she had that moment, and then she
Horrible
tries
person.
to warn Ray, you know, but
yeah, Ray wouldn't
mm.
have him. Well, because Ray's not, you know, kind of not about getting married right now either. So I think at this point, maybe she's like, well, let me just see what it's like to have a little free living here with this chick and see,
I
you
don't
know,
know
see how it goes.
I don't know
but-
what Ray's thinking.
now and one of the problems with the show, I feel like some people team up just for the sake of teaming up.
Yeah, it seems that way, kind
And
of.
I think that's what Ray. I think
Kind of, yeah.
Ray
And,
was
like she's
kind of
like,
in
look,
that
I gotta
position.
find somebody,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
you know, everyone else seems to be, you know, with someone, so this are my options.
And she was being pursued by Vanessa.
You
so-
don't want to not end up with someone.
No. You know, and they're both pretty women. So, you know, and obviously Ray likes pretty women. So Vanessa's one of the other people there that kind of is on her list as far as who she'd be attracted to physically, right? So,
You know, and Yoli has like a very good conversation with Xander, but later when she's talking to Mal, it gets a little weird.
Let's join some people.
Why?
Because I wanna.
because I want to. Yeah, she said because I want to.
Yeah, because I want to. And
Like,
it's
this
like,
conversation's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. like-
Yeah,
that
she-
was interesting.
Yeah, she was getting like, it was almost like she was feeling uncomfortable. Like, all right, you know, I'm done with this conversation. Let's just go
Yeah,
back.
and,
you know?
and Yoli, like when she's talking to Xander, like is really rational and all that. So it just seemed kind of weird that she had like a moment where,
Mhm.
you know.
Well, then you had Tiff and Mildred kind of had a similar moment too, right? Where they're like talking, and Mildred's like, "You just don't, you know, communicate with me. We're just not connecting." And then so Tiff kisses her. She's like, "Are we connected now, baby?" She's
Well,
like-
they just like broke up and she
Right.
walked off, and then
Right.
Tiff pursues her, and
Yeah.
that seems like how the relationship kind of goes.
right,
And
exactly.
that's exactly what she
Well,
said, what Mildred said.
And Mildred's like, "Yeah, the sex is great, but every time something bad goes wrong, she just wants to, you know, kiss and have sex and think that makes everything right, and it doesn't." you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah, and then they get to the choice thing, and then yeah, Vanessa is like telling Xander to F off.
dude,
The
in front
whole
of everybody,
time.
in front of everybody, man. I mean, how unclassy is that, man? When I mean, Xander's been nothing but a nice person, right? I mean, she's talking about somebody she dated, like before you, obviously, some Bumble person she met that she probably didn't date very long. So who cares? Who cares about that person?
She was very shocked
yeah.
to not know about
Why
it.
is that such a big deal where you're going to tell her to F off in front of
And
everybody
this is
multiple times?
after like she approached Xander and said, "I'm thinking about walking," but Xander's like, "I don't know. I'm kind of like having a
Mhm.
decent time."
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you know that put her in a bad space.
Well, that was eye opening for her, I think, because she had that conversation. When I say she, I'm talking about Vanessa. She had that conversation with Lex, where she's like, "Xander's not going to meet anybody or whatever, you know, like because I'm pretty and not Xander." And then she's realizing that Xander is making connections with people, and she's like, "Oh."
And she's getting jealous. You know, when
Yeah.
the funny thing is, and the person that Xander connects with, Yoli, is one of the people that call Vanessa out on her bullcrap.
Yeah.
Right. So Vanessa's like,
I think you're gonna be like pretty surprised, but like, it's Yoli.
Yeah, she's just not very nice to me.
you know, she's mean to me, Xander. You know, I can't. If you're gonna go with her, then you don't care about me because she's mean to me. It's like, get the hell out of here with your manipulation, man. It's like,
I
It
thought
was
it was
totally
very odd.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's crapping on Vanessa, and Xander, after just being told
Sticking
to
up
F
for
off,
her.
comes to the rescue.
Yeah.
ridiculous, man. I mean, man, you gotta give. I mean, Xander has a huge heart, man. I give that because, man, I
She
don't know how
loves
you
her.
feel.
Like she's
Yeah.
been with her for 4 years. She wants her to marry her. Like she's the one that gave the ultimatum.
Well, she's
you
the
know?
only one that understands her.
Yeah, that's what she said. As she said, y'all don't understand her like I do. I'm the one who understands her.
It's
Say,
like,
well,
well, yeah, no one understands that kind of attitude.
Right,
so-
exactly. Like, who wants to understand that? You know, nobody does.
It happens. There's relationships that are like that. So
Yeah, evidently.
evidently.
Now let's talk about the choices and who they team up with. So of course Vanessa and Ray get together. Pretty predictable, I guess.
Yep.
They kind of leave you hanging on that one episode, but
Yeah, even though you knew it was coming.
and all these people, like no one like throws like a curveball and like one person chooses someone and someone chooses something
Right.
different.
Yeah,
They all
or-
choose each
Or
other.
nobody
on that.
chose their certain person to say, all right, you know what? I changed my mind. Let's get married and leave like they did in the
Yep,
last episode.
last one that happened, which was kind of interesting.
I mean,
Yep.
Tiffany she chose Sam.
Sam, yeah.
She chose Sam, but then she did follow it up with like, I'm gonna give this the
good try.
chance, the good try and everything, but I'm choosing you and I'm not wanting you to feel second best or anything, but I still love her and I want to be with her.
I'm still
Yeah,
madly,
still
I'm still,
love-
mad,
still love
I'm still
Mildred.
madly in love with her, yeah.
Like, that's my girl. Like, if I could choose my girl, that's my girl.
That's not a good setup for Sam.
No. Well, and then again, it's like, if you love her that much where you're bawling your eyes out right now, then why don't you just freaking marry her, you know?
Yeah.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah, that's the hard part, because Tiff was given the ultimatum.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's like, what's the deal here?
Now, later on, when you see some of Mildred's attitude, now I'm like, okay.
Well, things start making sense on both sides there, I guess, so... Something tells me they're going to get back together. I don't know, because what choice do these two probably have?
It seems to be their cycle. So.
Oh yeah, because I mean they're not getting along. Neither one of them are getting along with their new person.
This is an interesting one, because like Sam switch, like these two switch couples essentially in this group,
like a wife swap.
Yeah.
But Sam Sam of course is not loving on Tiff's dog. That pisses Tiff off, and she throws a huge fit. And I guess they kind of say towards the end that they kind of hash that out. And okay, we Sam did. So I'm like, oh, we kind of talked through that. And, he's better now.
Well, I think Sam is being more reasonable in this.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think Tiff's like putting words in Sam's mouth.
And she said that. She's like, I think the line got blurred here a little bit. I never said I wouldn't or I couldn't. It's just not something I've done. I'm not used to it. Like, it's something I have to like.
Well, but it's just like, well, your attitude doesn't say that. Your attitude says you just don't give a F about my dog.
I'm like, is she going around kicking the dog? Like, what is she doing to this dog?
And I'm a dog lover, but I think if someone's not a dog lover, it's like there's got to be a compromise there. Yeah. And like maybe she needs to say like, hey, it's really important to me the dog stays on the bed or something like that. Like, how important is it to you that the dog not be on the bed? You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, she kind of did. She's like, look, if I have to, I'll sleep on the couch with my dog, which is exactly what happened. She slept on the couch with the dog.
But it never showed her making her do that.
No, but
I don't know where the conversation, because it seemed like she was open to trying it, and maybe it didn't work, and we just didn't see that.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe she just never said, "Hey, why don't you just let's do it? Come to the bed, and we'll give it a shot."
Like maybe we say, "How about if the dog gets on the bed, the dog stays on the bed. If the dog's on the floor, I won't tell it to get on the bed." You know what I mean? We'll see what happens.
Yeah. That'd be probably a decent compromise, because especially being in a new place, maybe the dog wouldn't jump on the bed.
He would have jumped on the bed.
Who knows what happened?
But nobody puts that baby in a corner.
But she didn't even like. I mean, I was kind of disappointed in Tiff's attitude about it. Like, it's kind of like,
I think Tiff was looking for something to argue about or to push her away in some way, and say this is obviously not going to work.
I didn't think they'd recover from it, but like Sam is such a reasonable person and like talking it out, and that's cool.
Then you flip to Mildred and AUSSIE, who started out great. Like, they were all getting along great, talking.
I never really bought them.
And then you had, well, especially after the meeting with Mo, with the AUSSIE's friend Mo. At that, it was done. It was like, because now, when they're talking separately, AUSSIE was telling Mildred, you know what? Now that I met you, I think I could get married. And then they start talking to her for a Mo, and she's like, I would never want to I can't commit to one person. It scares the hell out of me.
Mildred's like, I'm kind of tearing up here, hearing that.
And then after that, man, Mildred just had it, and then she just started getting on to AUSSIE for every little, just nitpicking the hell out of her for everything.
Yeah, and I can believe, I get what Mildred's saying there, because that's messed up. But like later on, she's like, hey, I wake up early, and I made food, and now I got to do this. I'm like, who cares? Like, make yourself food. When I wake up, I'll make myself food, and what's the problem here?
Yeah, exactly.
But she's just getting on her about little things.
No, because at this point, she's just pissed. She's just being nitpicky now.
So you've been on vacation while I've been starving at home.
Yeah, and I bought a lot of frozen stuff. I didn't meal plan. I'll make an effort this week.
Yeah, and you're lucky because when Tiff cooks, I don't help.
It's kind of, they don't know how to communicate, right? Because obviously AUSSIE doesn't like the confrontation. She's uncomfortable. She doesn't know what to say. She knows that she agreed with her. She's like, and then she even at one point in time said, I'll do better. But like Mildred spoke over her, and I don't think Mildred even heard her say it. Yeah. Like, and she's like, okay, well, I said I'd do better. Like, she didn't say this, but in her mind, I think she's thinking, I said I do. What else can I say right now? Like,
well, then it's funny too, because later when Mildred's talking to Sam about it, Mildred's like, how do you deal with this? And Sam's like, oh, well, normally she goes and listens to her meditation songs. And,
how long is she gonna meditate for?
I let her meditate for a while, and then and then whenever I feel like the time's right, then I'll come forward with a confrontation.
They don't work well in conflict, because like Mildred wants to hash it out right then and there, and then AUSSIE wants to like calm down and then re-engage once they got their emotions in check.
I think AUSSIE needs the time to self-reflect too. I think she, she needs to hear what the other person's complaint is, and then self-reflect on it a little bit, and then come back, and she can come back with a more reasonable conversation and understanding of the situation. Whereas she was just being attacked. Really.
Right, no, she told me attacked.
I don't really know why Mildred and AUSSIE got together, though. They didn't really seem to hit it off that much beforehand.
Well, Mildred was talking
about... They had
one
conversation, but like...
Yeah, but
I think they did.
They showed him hit it off in that conversation. They showed Mildred talk about, wow, Ozzy, you know, she really gets me. She's listening to me, you know.
I've convinced her she now wants to be married.
Wants to be married, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe they didn't show
enough
much of them, like compared to everyone else, but I thought it was a little odd. But.
Yeah.
I also think that these people who are having these conversations who's saying, I've now convinced this person that they might want to be married, because Lexi and Mal are in the same situation where Mal's now kind of saying, you know, I can see myself being married, and you have to go in, you have to take that with a grain of salt, because like 24 hours ago, they couldn't see themselves in a marriage.
Right, which is why they said no to their partner.
You know, and now a brand new person are like, yeah, I'll marry you. Like, I mean, it's caught up in the moment, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, they could see the picture, but in reality, deep down and rooted, they're having issues with coming to terms with that.
Yeah,
you can't just take that.
Now, when Mildred first entered like the apartment with Ozzy, she did say like, maybe I could like leave single or end up with someone else or end up with you. And so it was like the third option. I thought that was kind of odd too. Like that, well, we'll make this work. So
well, they're like sleeping arrangements.
That was a weird thing too.
Well, then they all mentioned the sleeping arrangements, and old Xander's like, I sleep in the buff, man. You cool with that?
She's kind of smooth, right? She like does the massage thing, and that's an easy way to like, you know, get intimate.
She's a physical therapist, right? So yeah, man. Xander's smooth.
Yeah, they hit it off real well. Real well.
Yeah, they had a good time that one night.
Probably more than that one night.
Right. Well, the next morning she was like, yeah, I want to do it again.
Yeah, which is funny because Vanessa made the comment that Xander says she's asexual if it's not with her. You know what I mean? Like, she can't see herself being sexual at all except for with Vanessa.
I could see she made a comment like that, but
she
probably
not
come
asexual.
That
way.
No. Yeah,
she does not come across
she hit it off very well with Yoli. They're not having any problems.
Yeah.
I mean, their sexual connections good with them.
I imagine if Xander wanted to leave the competition with her, they probably would have left. But, you know, that night. But Vanessa goes and gets her nipples pierced. What did you think about that?
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, you're on, like, why the hell the first, you know, you just moved in together. Number one, it takes a little while for that stuff to heal, right? So why do you want sore nipples, like, while you're trying to film this show? I didn't get that.
And then they go out in the ocean a little bit later. And I'm like, I don't think you should be doing that.
Like, I was like, man.
That's
probably not advisable.
No, I think that girl is, I mean, she's obviously on this show for the wrong reasons. She's definitely just trying to get her face out there and make herself famous. And, you know, and it's just, man. It's ridiculous.
Now, Mal and Lexi seem to be hitting off, and like Mal's kind of saying, I could leave this show engaged.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a big turnaround for her.
Yeah. But I think she sees herself being engaged to Lexi.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
She actually says that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those two hit it off great, man.
I can see myself being engaged.
And they've got a great, I mean, you know, not only they got a great connection, but they have great,
I'm not lesbian.
They have great conversation, right? They're both very intellectually, you know, they're both smart people. You know, they have good intellectual conversations. You know, they talk about a lot of deep stuff together, and you know, and they seem to just it just flows smoothly between them, right? Like there's no like you know, there's no moments of like tenseness
cringy,
or
awkwardness.
Yeah, it just seems like very smooth flowing relationship. So I get it. You know, I mean, I think they're a good couple.
And that is something to make note of, like, because when you watch shows like Love is Blind or any of these other dating shows, you do always see those cringy moments. It's like when their first kiss, it's always kind of cringy to watch, and you're like, oh God, do people?
Which I think Xander gets the first kiss in there with Yoli.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But I think Xander and Yoli and Lexi and Mal, they seem. I haven't seen a cringe moment between those two couples at all.
No, so far it's been smooth sailing for both those couples, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, if anybody's gonna work out, I think it's those two couples.
Yeah, agreed.
So far, you know. And what funny thing is too. So you know, talking about that, you know, who got the first kiss and all that. Remember when all the women are together, and of course they split them up into two groups of 5, and of course Lexi's in the same group of Vanessa. And Vanessa's like, oh, we're just trying to take it slow, and Lexi's like,
yeah, which is like not what happened. Seems like the exact opposite. Is there a reason why you Ray?
Are you?
Oh yeah, that ain't what I've been seeing. That ain't what I heard.
Well, that's odd. So obviously Vanessa and what's her name, Ray.
Yeah, they get a little
fool around.
They get busy.
And then she's immediately texting Lexi what happened.
The cameras in the bedroom see her get up, and she grabs her phone and she looks over at Vanessa and she puts her clothes on. I'm like, that is regret. Like that's
the walk of shame. That's the walk of shame look right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Vanessa's just sleeping soundly. Like, she don't care.
But do you immediately text them?
Yeah. Well, dude, I tell you what, man, she's very honest person, man, for doing that. Because hell no, why would you do that? You know, because number one,
well, you're gonna know about it because it's on the show.
You'll
So
find out eventually.
maybe she's like, I need to get ahead of it.
Yeah. But,
well, and Vanessa's the type of person that would go out there and blast that information out too.
Oh yeah. Well, but then Mal's like, you know, when Mal's talking to Lexi about it, 'cause Lexi starts crying, talking to Mal's like, well, honestly, I was like, I wouldn't be told her that right now. She's like, if you and I did something, I wouldn't be telling my ex about it right now, you know. And you know, that's something to talk about later, not right now. And she's like, because now, selfishly, it's kind of screwed up for me because now, it's kind of putting a little, not putting a wedge between us, but it's throwing something in there, that we gotta,
Well, it's funny when Ray's telling like Vanessa her concern, she's got this like crazy smile. Like, Lexi's not gonna like this.
She's like, because she's like, just tell her I'm too hot and irresistible, and it's like, dude,
even when she gets her nipples pierced, she's like, that one's for Lexi,
right?
Yeah.
And you can see the look of like on Ray's face whenever she said that.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, Ray goes out there and tries to on the balcony and tries to have a serious conversation with her. Like, I want to talk about what happened last night and how how we feel about it, and she's like, why? Like,
and then now here's where I say the only part where I saw that was a little childish of Lexi. So her response is, "Oh, great! So now I'm gonna have to go tell my family what you did, and my grandfather loves you, and how am I gonna explain to my grandfather what you did?" It's like, you don't. Like, what the hell do you mean you're gonna tell your grandfather?
Maybe because they're gonna watch the show. Man. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't know, but.
But like, why are you explaining this stuff to your grandfather?
Right.
You can say she cheated or had relations with someone else. I don't think she's gonna go say she got fingered by another woman. I don't think.
Granddaddy, wait till you hear what Ray did.
Well, right. Well, but the thing is, you don't have to tell them that. You just like, we just had issues, it didn't work out. You don't have to get into, what you're, really.
Oh no, you tell him.
Yeah, you tell Grandpa. You tell Grandpa that she got finger banged by another girl. Well, and the fact that Vanessa said it like that right at the bat, she's like, oh, yeah, I fingered you last night. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
They kind of wanted us to talk about what happened last night.
I had a lot of fun last night. I believe I fingered you.
It's like you do realize the camera's here.
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
Well, and I think she did it because the camera's there. I think Vanessa's just doing this just to freaking,
She said it earlier on her date with Lexi. She's like, what, you gonna sit on my face or something like that? Right. And it's like, man, this is a little forward. Like, you don't see this on the other kind of show. It's like...
Oh, yeah. No, that chick, man. I was like,
pretty saucy.
Yeah.
Big time.
And then you have the conversation with all the girls when Lexi is at the dinner with Vanessa, and she's like you said, taking it slow, and she's like, nah, I don't think you are. And then they're all talking about it, and it's said over and over and over again. Would you put your fingers in your vagina? Would you? Is that what I'm saying? And it was like, fingers in vagina were said so many times.
Well, the hilarious thing about that, because remember the way that came out, they were like, she was like, so, I mean, do you think you've got a sexual, are you sexually connected to her, emotionally connected? And she's like, well, no. And they're like, what? And Vanessa's like, well,
she meant to say that.
I don't think she did. But then Vanessa was like, so, she was like, well, what kind of connection do you have? Vanessa's like, well, it's like a best friend connection. And that's when they were all like, I don't finger my best friend. Would you finger me? We just met. We're best friends. Like, no, I'm not gonna say what fingers anyway.
I can only imagine what other tables in that restaurant was like.
It's like, what the hell is going on over there?
What's going on over there?
And what are they drinking? Give us about 5 of those.
Well, there's some other odd conversations. Like Mildred's like really like interrogating Xander about Vanessa as well. Yeah. And Xander's like, I didn't come here to talk about Vanessa. Like, she's her own person. But Mildred's like, no. I'm not letting you out of that.
She's like, we're sitting here telling you, we're saying how it is about Vanessa, and you're trying to stick up with her. What's up with that?
I'm not here to keep talking about Vanessa. By you saying that you're not here to talk about Vanessa, that is you excusing her and dismissing her behavior.
I didn't come to this party to talk about my ex,
And I like that Xander, I respect Xander for saying that.
What she's supposed to do, I don't know about what she's doing.
I think Xander's taking this experiment or whatever you want to call it seriously, and she's in a position where she's really falling for Yolo, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yoli.
Well, then she's talking, and of course, she's got Mal right there with her, so Mal's asking her questions about it. Well, they're all like, well, tell us something that's, irritating you about the other person, and she can't think of anything, and Mal's like, oh, there's stuff. Mal's like, there's irritating stuff she does. You spill the beans, and she's like,
I would have been like, all right, Mal, tell me, what is it? What am I missing?
Right.
And it's also interesting, like Ray kind of like confides in Mal, and then they go get a drink, and Mal's like really cool about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, that's for you to like deal with and stuff. And I
Right.
can't do that for you."
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not, you know, and the way Lexi reacted, like that's not even my place to talk about, you know, with you. That's hers, you know. So yeah, that was
So
good. The way
she's
she did.
just super mature, and like I like the way she handles things and
Like, she
thinks
was-
it through. You know, doesn't react.
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah,
not busy.
and she was supportive of her. Like she, you know, Ray had pulled her aside. And she's like, "I'm going to talk to you. I'm supportive, but I'm not going to cross the line here that I shouldn't cross as
Exactly.
far as us having this conversation." So
Yeah, that was real cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Anything we're leaving out here at this point?
I don't know, man. Just drama, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking real forward to seeing what happens when they get back together with their exes, and like, you know, because it showed us a little bit of clips and stuff, but you know, especially the ones that had sex with other ones. It's like, how do you, you know, that's something, you know,
Well,
big
there's
you gotta
only
handle.
2 temporary couples, we'll
Right, that
call
had
them,
sex,
that
yeah.
have had sex, right?
Mm-hmm. But the thing is,
Do you think they like have any rules beforehand? Like, hey, no sex, no kissing, or you know anything like that. That would be wise, right? If you're going on
Yeah,
a show
but
like this, and
I-
like, hey, if you do that, that's
we're
the
done.
line. Yeah.
But I bet the show makes them like, no, you can't have any freaking
Yeah,
nonsense like that.
and I would
you
say
know?
I don't care what the show says. Me and
Right.
you got a pact.
Right. Same.
And if it's violated, then
We're done.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
problem.
Oh yeah. That's like, well, I mean,
It'd be stupid not to.
Well, dude, that's like when Vanessa was whining about Yoli, and she was like, "Oh, you know, chose her over me." You know, there was never a time where I really thought that our relationship's over, but now I think at this time it is. And it was like, dude, get out of here, man.
Vanessa was
Yeah.
whining over?
Yeah, whenever she was whining that freaking that Xander chose Jolie. And she's sitting in front of the camera crying, and she was like, you know, she's choosing her after the way she badmouthed me and everything, and you know, I never really questioned our relationship before, but now I do. I think our relationship's over, and it's
Yeah.
like it's over. You came on this damn show
Right.
to freaking meet other people. It's like, get out of here, man.
She didn't come to meet other
And she's
people.
an
She came to
influencer,
screw
so
screw
other
other people,
people.
yeah.
influencer, so that kind of
Yeah, she
lines
says
up
she
with
is.
her doing that.
Yeah, she says
so.
she's an influencer. Yeah,
I don't know what she's influencing.
yeah, drama.
Yeah,
Damn drama.
exactly.
Oh man.
But
All right, so of the original couples, who stays together?
well,
And
I
do
think
any of the new couples
Tiff
stay?
and Mildred have to get together because they got nobody else.
Right, right.
And same
And
thing
that's
with
their
Ozzy
cycle.
and Sam. I think
That's
you know
their
they're
cycle.
going to realize, hey, I think we are good together.
Yeah, and I agree. If there's any couples that do, it's those two. You're right. Yeah, because at this point,
I
there
agree.
really ain't much of another choice. Either that or leave it alone. You know.
Yeah.
I
mean-
think Sam has the patience to deal with Ozzy.
Yeah.
Ozzy just needs to realize that's going to be.
Well, I think Tiff is going to learn a lot from Sam, and I think she's going to be thankful for that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Well,
And that's the good part about it. Like, you know, because it's not about trying to, like, can I be with somebody else? It's learning, like, different communication skills and everything, you know? So we don't have to be sexual, but now I know how to communicate a little bit differently, whereas I couldn't get through that barrier with my original
yeah.
partner.
Well, the one thing I will say that I kind of agree with Mildred on. Mildred's like, look, you're 42 years old. You need to have your shit together, you know? And she was talking about Aussie, and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah.
I like
right
the
there.
friend too, where she's like, "So you guys are sleeping together and doing shit together."
doing shit together. Yeah, doing shit.
Yeah. You guys sleep in the same bed. You guys do shit too? Oh my god.
Oh, she's just kicked back, too. She's like, just tell me about what's happening here.
Let me know. What's going on here?
You doing it?
Right. I mean, you've been getting the digits up in there or what?
But,
I know, ask somebody else.
yeah, this show's crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's
no
quite
doubt,
a
man.
change from the last show.
I am rooting for Lexi and Mal.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Lacey and Mal, and I'm rooting for Xander and Yoli.
But Lexi and Ray it wasn't too bad of a thing going on though.
It wasn't,
but
but
I don't know if Lexi can forgive Ray at this point.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
no.
girl,
Oh, no.
girl, what are you doing?
Yeah, she probably
Yeah.
can't. Well, that's the thing she told her.
And with Vanessa on top of that, it's like
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, that's the thing she said. She's like, you know, it's not even the sex. She was like, you could have sex six times in a row. She's like, but it's the person. And like that person obviously has no intention of meeting, you know, of getting together with, you know, you. So
Right.
you're never really going to fall in love with this person or anything. So why are you just giving yourself to
You
this
just-
person?
Basically,
Yeah.
you're just
A one-night
doing it
stand,
to do
basically.
it. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's
no, I
her. You know,
agree.
she made it sound like that was her biggest concern. So
Do you,
It
do
should
you-
be.
yeah,
Do you
no,
think
absolutely.
now that Lexi has this information that she opens up a little more physically with Mal?
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, probably so.
I mean, I don't know how far they'll go, but I bet they open up more. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
And I
so.
think their bond will grow stronger and everything as well.
Mhm.
And like I said, Mal's feeling it too. I think.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Mal even said, you know, hey, you know, it's affecting me a little bit too, but I'm here for you. You know, I got you. You know, I got you, girl. I'm right here for you. Don't worry. You know, you get through this. So, Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. But I think their bond's definitely gonna go stronger. No doubt about it.
So, what's your final impressions on these 4 episodes? Is it what you thought it'd be? Is it crazier? What?
Probably a little crazier than I thought it was going to be.
Crazier than I thought it was going to be.
Probably a little crazy. I mean, the thing is, well, what's her name? One of the women said it, the best. She was like, you got 10 different types of estrogen up in here, right? Yeah, room full of estrogen. We talked about that on Farmer One's Wife, like how these dudes got it. Like, dude, you got 5 chicks living in your house with you, man. You got a lot of stuff going on. But these are women, 10 of them. Oh, 10 of them hanging out together and stuff. So, yeah, that's a lot, man. A lot of estrogen. Agreed. So, yeah, damn. But it was definitely different. It was different.
Are AUSSIE and Mildred going to kill each other before the thing's over?
Yeah, they might.
It's getting pretty toxic over there.
Yeah, although some of the previews we saw looked pretty good as far as some conversations that TIFF had with Mildred about that, right? So I was like, there you go, TIFF. That's right.
Yeah, I think it's going to make them stronger in the end.
Yeah, we'll see. But hey, well, there you have it. That is episodes 1 through 4 of the Ultimatum Queer Love. It's a very interesting show so far.
Yeah.
Again, I think Wednesdays is when it drops.
Wednesday.
So yeah, we'll be checking out the next 4 and doing this again for you. And as always, we do love doing it for you. We love talking to you guys. So please hit like and subscribe and tell us what you think about the show. And until next time, we will check you on our next review.
See ya.
See ya. Sky's like, get back on the script. Get back on track.
Trying to go on order.
Billy's like, well, I love Billy always. He's like,
always.
Well, later on, we'll get into that later. Like this. I brought back the sitting on the face thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, do you figure your best friend? Just run around like, I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Janet. Friendship. There was a scene where they said, what was that? And she's like, my finger.
Yeah, like on her butt.
It wasn't a penis, I promise you that.
You got the magic rabbit? What the hell? What are you guys using over there?
There was one scene.
He's always looking for tricks. Like, what kind of gear are you bringing to the table?
Yeah, and that chick.
Grandpa. What are you going to tell Grandpa?
What?
I like it. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I like it.
Stay with us. Stay with us. We got Bachelorette coming in.
You don't like it? Just hold on, people.
My eyes.